What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm down at Mercedes of Northlake, and behind me we're going to take a look at a Mercedes-Benz G550 4x4 squared. Massive shout out to them for providing this monster of an SUV for me today to check out. Definitely check out their website, that will be down in the description below. This model here is finished off in Platinum Magno and has an MSRP just under $240,000. Under the hood, this has a 4-liter bi-turbo V8 engine. This is only paired to a 7-speed automatic transmission, and it does have steering wheel mounted paddle shifters as well. This engine produces 416 horsepower at 5,200 RPM and 450 pound-feet of torque as low as 2,200 RPM. It is all-wheel drive, weighs around 6,800 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in around 7 seconds and has a top speed of 130 miles an hour. And with a fuel capacity of 25.4 gallons, you can expect to see 11 miles per gallon in the city and 11 miles per gallon on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 112.2 inches. It has an overall length of 177.2 inches. The width is 77.1. It has a height of 88 inches, and its ground clearance measures in at 17.2 inches. Talking more about the off-road capabilities of the 4x4 squared, comparing this to a Wrangler, which is a pretty hardcore off-road vehicle, its ground clearance measures in at 10.8 inches versus the 17.2. The approach angle on the 4x4 is 52 degrees versus 44 on a Wrangler. Breakover angle is 47 degrees versus 27.8, and the departure angle is 44 degrees versus 37. Starting up front, this has bi-xenon headlights with LED daytime running lights. They're nicely placed just underneath the headlight housing, and just above that is the turn signal indicators. As we move to the center, you'll see the chrome trim surrounding the very large Mercedes-Benz logo, with nice mesh behind that with cutouts to provide cooling to the engine. As we make our way to the lower bumper, you'll see the 4 forward-facing parking sensors along with even more mesh, and just up underneath that is a skid plate for added protection off-road. Looking at this vehicle from the front end, you can see it has a massive appearance with the incredibly high ground clearance as well as the fender flares that stick out a good foot. You can see all the contoured lines and squared off edges that really add to the front appearance. As we make our way up to the hood, it features even more squared off lines with lines running down the hood. It just gives it an overall very aggressive appearance. Moving to the side, this features a set of 22-inch wheels. They have a 5 double-spoke design to them, along with a 2-tone finish. All of these are wrapped in a Pirelli Scorpion all-terrain tire. They measure 325, 55, 22 in all 4 corners. Just above that, we have the massive fender flares. Half of it is finished off in carbon fiber, which really gives it a great look, and you can see just how wide they are both in the front and the rear. Right in the center, we have chrome on the side steps along with the side exit exhaust. That is both on the driver and passenger side. Really gives it a unique look. Moving up on the door panel, you'll see the trim piece that runs the same height as the door handles. It extends from the front of the vehicle all the way into the rear. We'll take a look at the body colored side mirrors now. They have the integrated turn signal in them. As we make our way up to the roof, you'll see a carbon fiber piece located at the top side of the windshield. It features more lighting on it as well. And then up top, this does also have a sunroof. Moving to the suspension, this has 8 dual springs and 8 shock dampener struts with adjustable dampening. This provides the massive ground clearance that the vehicle has to offer, allowing all 4 wheels to operate independently as well. And finishing up in the rear with the third brake light and rear view camera mounted on the top section of the vehicle, you can see the large glass in the back door. Both taillights are just on each side of that door. This has 2 bumpers. The top one has an extra footstep on it in case you need to step on that to get into the back, and then down below is an additional bumper that's finished off in chrome. This has a very tall and wide appearance from the rear end as well, and it has a towing capacity up to 7,000 pounds. Alright guys, so that's going to finish up with the exterior walk around on the 4x4 squared. Just for reference, Brian just showed up in the Supra, so we're just going to take a size comparison between a normal sports car and the 4x4 squared. It is absolutely massive. Going around this vehicle, even trying to close the hood, I had to jump up to reach that. It is just such a large vehicle. I wish I could convey to you the sound of the lock and the unlock as well. We'll go ahead and hop into the inside. Hopefully you can hear that. I'll do it again much closer. Just the mechanical sound of that lock. It's just so cool if you can hear that in person. I'm gonna go ahead and just push on this button now, and we can go ahead and open up the door. Starting off on the door panel, you can see the diamond stitching running through the Alcantara, both above the armrest and down below. There's a little bit of storage space in the middle side of the door, along with a ton of room down below. This has a 12-speaker Harman Kardon sound system. You have the release with your lock and unlock, a nice carbon fiber trim piece running around your seat adjustments, along with the memory seating. Up on the top, you have your window controls, along with your side mirror controls as well. As we make our way to the inside, you'll see the black leather seats have more diamond stitching running down the center, along with the 4x4 squared emblem, and there's stitching running down the bolsters as well. They have a really nice design to them, along with a ton of adjustability. Also on the front side of the seat, you have an additional storage space. You can just open this up for a phone or something like that. All right guys, so now it's time to show you how to get up into the 4x4 squared. So I had to come from the outside again just to show you. I love the click on that door, that is crazy. But now, look at how high this thing is. And we are up into the driver's seat. It is very comfortable with these bolsters now that I'm sitting in it. They are super aggressive. I love the steering wheel too. It has Alcantara on the sides, leather on the top and the bottom. You have all your Bluetooth controls, and these will control the center screen, which I'll show you here soon. And it also has the aluminum paddle shifter, so if you really want to get on it and use these, that is pretty cool to see. So now with the key, I'll go ahead and insert it over to the right side there. We'll go ahead and bring this to life. So looking at the gauge cluster now, you'll see the miles per hour on the left side, along with the fuel gauge. Tach and engine temperature are on the right side. Using the buttons on the left side of the steering wheel, we'll just take a look at the information you have in the center. You can look at your trip, your navigation when that is on and running. You have your audio, your Bluetooth, driver assistance that you can go into, and you can see a graphic of the hood of the 4x4 squared, which is really cool to see. We can go back over to any messages you have, along with your tire pressure, oil life, things like that, and you can go into your settings as well. So very nice to go through all of that, and of course you have your odometer and then your gear selection just above that. On the left side of the steering wheel is all of the headlight controls. There's one air vent. Looking at the dash, you have more leather and stitching, and then right in the center is the 8-inch screen. To use this center screen, we're going to look at all of the controls just in front of the armrest. You have a rotary dial in the center, along with a back button, the home button, and you can turn it off the screen if you'd like to. To turn it back on, we're just going to push on this button down in the center, and that will bring it back up. But now on the home screen, we can go through everything I just showed you on the center dash. So you have the navigation. We can pull that up and view it full screen. We can go over to radio, media. You have your phone and vehicle. Underneath that screen, we have some buttons in the center surrounded by carbon fiber. So there's a nice trim piece going around everything, gives it a really nice look. Right in the top here, you have 3 aluminum buttons. These are the 3 locking differentials. So you have one in the front, one in the center, and one in the rear. So if you are taking this off-road, you have even more capabilities with being able to lock all of the wheels and have them work together. On the left and right of that is an air vent. Moving down the buttons on the left side, you can see the radio, media, navigation, and phone. These are easy shortcuts into that screen. You also have your Bluetooth with a dial pad on the far right side. There's the power button for the radio in the center, along with the volume control around that. Down below, you have even more aluminum toggle switches for the heated and ventilated seats for both driver and passenger. You can turn traction control off, you have the hazards, and this has the engine start-stop feature, which is nice to see. Moving down below, this has dual zone climate, so you have driver and passenger that you can control individually with some more recirc buttons in the center. Fan speed is all the way down at the bottom, along with off to the far left. You can see there's even more carbon fiber surrounding the shifter, so it continues down, gives it a really nice look. There's a small tray in the front of the shifter. With my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and put it into reverse just by pushing it all the way forwards. You'll see the backup camera light up. You can see 2 different views. There's the full screen with the guidelines, or you can look at more of a wide angle lens with no guidelines, so you can see just a little bit more to the left and the right compared to this screen here. But on this screen, the guidelines do move with the steering wheel as well, which is nice to see. Putting it into neutral is just kind of in the middle here, and then all the way back we can put it into drive. park is just behind that. To the left of the shifter, you have the parking brake that's wrapped in leather with more stitching. Just behind the shifter, you have two different driving modes. There's sport and comfort. There's a defroster button just next to that, along with a low range on the far right. Looking at the center armrest now, it's finished off in leather with more stitching. You have a good amount of room down there, along with two USBs in the front side. Moving over to the glove box now, you definitely have a lot of room for anything that needs to go there, along with two cutouts for drinks, so you can put them on that if you'd like to. The passenger side also gets a netting cup holder as well. You have another net in the front side for more storage space, along with a 12 volt. There's carbon fiber up on the grab handle, along with more leather and stitching. We'll go ahead and take one last look at these leather seats. They are super comfortable. These bolsters are very aggressive. And then as we make our way up to the top, this does have a sunroof, so all of those buttons are up in the center, of course, and you have your dome light switches and some emergency buttons as well. Now it's time to hop into the back seats, and it has that same mechanical click to it. I'll go ahead and shut it. It's just something satisfying about that click. It's very neat to hear in person. Door panel is finished off just like up front, but now we'll go ahead and hop in. You have a massive fender flare on one side that I'm gonna go ahead and clear, so it's nice to have a good grab handle here. And then we can just hop up into it. And you have plenty of room in the back seats. There's a little bit of storage space behind both front seats there. You have two cup holders in the center, along with a 12 volt and two air vents. And then I have about 3 or 4 inches above my head, and you can see a little bit in front of my knees. These are heated seats as well, so on the door panel you have 3 different settings for that. There is plenty of space for 3 people in the back seats, tons of room, lots of visibility out of the back glass as well. You can see just how large that is, along with the third glass back there. The attention to detail in the back seats is just like up front, with the diamond stitching, the leather, the white stitching everywhere. Now it's time to take a look at the rear storage space. The door handle is just like the other 4, and once we have this opened up, you have Alcantara on the back side of it with nice diamond stitching. Same thing on the floor mat here. Definitely plenty of room behind the back seats. You have a net on the left side, along with a power outlet. Over on the right side, there's this lock box here, and with it open, it has some tire inflator kits if you need to use those. So it's kind of cool how it's locked up in that box there. You have a little bit of storage space behind that. There's also 4 tie-down hooks on each side in case you need to use those. And it's very cool how there's a cutout in the bumper here. The load height is very high on this, so that allows me to get even closer for any items that I have to lift up in here. And there is a step on each side, so if you had to use those to get inside for whatever reason, it's nice that those are placed on each side. Oh man. So we are getting the G-Wagon out, G-Wagon, what do you call it? Yeah, 4x4 squared out on the road now. What's up, guys? Brian is joining because not too often you get to take a 4x4 squared out on the road. So
we are really high up. Oh man, this is cool.
So once again, huge shout out to Mercedes of Northlake for the opportunity to drive this.
They have 2 of them in stock?
They have 2. One's that electric yellow.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of it.
That's insane.
But I don't know, that's pretty wild. The gray is pretty
Did you hear the
sleek.
Wow.
Oh man. I don't know where to start. This is way different than any other vehicle we've ever driven before.
Yeah, it's nice. The interior is a G-Wagon. This is beautiful. We got beautiful leather, carbon fiber, Alcantara, and stitching. This is me literally first hopping in it, guys. I mean, this is a very nice car. Alcantara headliner.
I didn't even notice that.
Wow. And we're just 5 feet higher than normal.
Yeah.
No big deal.
That is pretty cool. But for a large vehicle like this, it's actually pretty easy to see all around as well.
Yeah.
The boxy design to it kind of allows all the glass to be very large.
Yeah, you can see the entire hood with the turn signals on the corners actually.
That's pretty cool. It's taking these speed bumps pretty well.
It could probably run over anything.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw this, but it has 17.2 inches of ground clearance. A Wrangler has like 10.8, I think I said.
Wow.
So 7 inches more. That's pretty crazy. So we're not going to get to drive this too long today, but just to be able to do this.
Yeah, at least get our bearings with it.
It's a different experience for sure.
Even as a passenger right now, I feel like I'm the best.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm the king of road, like king of the road type thing.
We're higher than that car was on the trailer there.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. All right, so pulling out of the parking lot here, just give it a little bit of gas using the paddles. It's not loud or anything, but
it's smooth.
For a almost 7,000 pound vehicle,
yeah,
we're up to the speed just like that. And we currently have it in comfort mode. What were you saying?
Very fluid feeling. Like transmission definitely feels very smooth.
Yeah.
I don't, as a passenger, I don't feel any jerkiness or anything like that.
I'll go ahead and do that again.
That's smooth.
Yeah, there's no delays or anything.
Yeah. Suspension, you can tell it's a big truck.
Yeah.
But it's smooth.
We'll go ahead and put it into sport mode, see if it stiffens up a good bit. Man, this is such a unique experience.
You're just so high up. Like, that's so cool.
Wow. I don't know what else to talk about. It's mainly just taking in the experience of driving it.
Yeah.
The seats are so comfortable. Man, I could daily drive this. This is pretty cool. All right, so for our down and back test drive, Brian's turn now.
Sweet.
To experience what it's like. So just push on the P for park. Kind of has a cool shifter there.
Yeah.
But time to hop out and hop back in.
All right, driver's seat. Well, it's a really interesting cockpit. I've never really been in the G-Wagons. It's very tight and close to you, and then all the glass is like straight up.
Like I can almost touch the windshield right here.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna be able to see that, but it's very, very short.
Visibility is really good. The steering is pretty vague, I will say. There's a lot of play in it, being how big are these tires? Like what, 40s?
I think they're 40. They are 325, 55, 22. I don't know what 325 is, but they've got to be 40 inches or larger. So,
I mean, it tracks very nice and straight, but you can definitely tell a little bit of vagueness in the steering. But
can you imagine taking this off-road?
That would be insane. The suspension does a really good job just absorbing the bumps. I mean, it's got super advanced suspension.
Yeah.
Yeah, turning and handling a little on the vague side just because it's so tall and with such huge tires. And if you have driven like a lifted truck, you know that, but
yeah,
it is something else. That is crazy. It's smooth though. I mean, it kind of feels normal.
It feels like the normal G-Wagon that I drove last year, just taller.
The brakes actually work really well. Wow.
So, well, that was definitely an experience more than talking about what the car has to offer, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
being this high up.
You went over all the features in it. It's a G-Wagon underneath, really.
Yeah.
It just happens to have those super advanced, like, military axles and the craziness that is a 4x4 squared. And even let's do a little acceleration.
Isn't that crazy for almost 7,000 pounds?
Yeah, I mean, what's a twin turbo V8?
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
All right, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up for the walk around review and test drive in a 4x4 squared. Once again, massive shout out to Mercedes-Benz of Northlake. I'll have all their information in the description below. Definitely check them out. They have a crazy inventory, and they even have a 4x4 squared, which you don't see every day.
Yeah.
So if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button. Unfortunately, we have to give this back, but it was definitely fun.
This is something else. It's just a tank.